Happy and glorious, huge crowds cheer on the Queen as the Platinum Jubilee celebrations get underway. She was joined on the balcony at Buckingham Palace by members of her family, but not Prince Andrew nor Harry and Meghan. They watched as 70 aircraft took part in a spectacular flypast, which included the world-famous Red Arrows. Tens of thousands of people from around the UK and the world thronged the streets, hoping to catch a glimpse of proceedings.
If I had one thing to say to the Queen, I would say, you've done an amazing job of 70 years on the throne. God save the Queen!
Enjoying the ride, George, Charlotte and Louis made their debut appearance in a royal carriage at the Trooping the Colour parade. And in other news tonight, England get off to a storming start on the first day of the first test against New Zealand at Lord's. Good evening from Buckingham Palace, where the Queen has been cheered on by huge crowds as the first of 4 days of the Platinum Jubilee celebrations got underway. It began with the Trooping of Colour parade and was followed by a spectacular flypast, marking her unprecedented 70-year reign. In a message to mark the event, the Queen said she hoped the celebrations would create many happy memories for people. At 96, her mobility is limited and she restricted her appearance to the palace balcony instead of inspecting the troops in person, as is traditional. Here's our royal correspondent, Nicholas Witchell.
For all that she wants the Jubilee to be about local communities creating their own special memories, in the end, it's all about her. After all, there wouldn't be a Platinum Jubilee if there weren't a monarch who served for 70 years. It was her that the crowds had come to see. The Queen appeared on the balcony of Buckingham Palace, but for the first time in her reign, she did not attend Trooping the Colour itself. That's just too physically demanding for her now. Earlier, it had been the Prince of Wales who'd led the royal party from Buckingham Palace down to Horse Guards. Also riding on horseback behind Charles were Prince William, the Duke of Cambridge, and Princess Anne, the Princess Royal. And riding together in one of the carriages, the Cambridges' 3 children, Prince George, Prince Louis waving away happily in the middle, and Princess Charlotte. And the more the crowd waved, the more Louis waved, until his sister decided that that was probably enough. As the procession made its way down the Mall, a group of animal rights protesters broke through the tight police cordon and attempted to disrupt one of the marching bands before being dragged away by police. On Horse Guards parade, the Foot Guards had formed up. Plenty to look at for those newcomers to the parade. Plenty to get used to for these newcomers. They will see it many times in years to come. Absent from the parade, the Duke of York, stripped of his role as honorary colonel of the Grenadier Guards. The Prince of Wales led the inspection of the troops on behalf of his mother. It's the first time the heir to the throne has presided over the parade since 1951, when the then Princess Elizabeth represented her ailing father, George VI. Keen young eyes were watching from the windows overlooking the parade ground. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex were also watching from the same building. Their presence was caught by photographers. For an hour, the Guards' regiments demonstrated their marching skills. The colour of the Irish Guards was trooped. The spectacle was completed by the Household Cavalry Mounted Regiment. At Buckingham Palace, the Royal Standard was being raised to signify that the Queen had arrived from Windsor, ready for her appearances on the palace balcony. The military parade on Horse Guards over, The crowds were allowed up the Mall towards Buckingham Palace. They filled the spaces around the Victoria Memorial. On the balcony, the Queen and the working members of the royal family and their children, one of whom was about to steal the show. Overhead there was a flypast, the finest Britain's armed services could offer. Watching was 4-year-old Louis, still waving for all he was worth, fascinated by what he was seeing overhead one moment, clapping his hands to his ears the next. The Queen, of course, has seen it all before and takes all such things in her stride, just as she's done throughout her long reign. Her 70 years on the throne were marked in style. The Platinum Jubilee celebrations for the reign of Queen Elizabeth II are underway. Nicholas Witchell, BBC News at Buckingham Palace.
Well, earlier in the day, we had to fight our way through the crowds to get here. They had come from all over the UK and all around the globe. Here's a flavour of the atmosphere and the thoughts of some of those who've been here.
It was 10 deep on the Mall as people gathered to watch the parade. Those at the back couldn't really see much, but that seemed to bother absolutely no one.
It's incredible. I've never seen it like this, and it just really feels like a very special occasion. We're delighted to be here.
You can't see very much from back here. Does that matter?
No, do you know what's actually been really helpful? All of the cameras in front of us. We've been getting some quite good shots of what's going on anyway.
Some people had travelled thousands of miles to be here.
You came from Canada? Yeah. Oh my goodness, specifically for this?
Specifically for this, Her Majesty's Platinum Jubilee. We came here 10 years ago for the Diamond Jubilee.
Extraordinary. And
Thank
why?
you.
Why have you come
Because
this way?
Her Majesty the Queen has been faithfully serving us and the Commonwealth for the last 70 years.
Claire was there.
Yeah.
Claire, why are you here?
Well, I think it's a very special occasion. We're never going to see this again, are we, really? Not with our Queen, bless her. And I just feel it's very special and you've got to be part of the atmosphere.
For others, this was the tonic needed after the last long 2 years.
Incredibly proud to be part of this and the sense of togetherness, which we haven't really felt in a long time, especially due to the pandemic. It's really special.
And why are you here?
Oh, I'm here celebrating the occasion. You know, it's nice bringing communities together and we're all here. You know, that's why I'm here.
Where have you come from today?
All the way from, Southport, England's classic resort. So, yeah, just soaking it all up, making the most of it.
We were just chatting and you were saying you thought these days were very special for a particular reason. Just tell me again.
I just think that it's great that all the good things about our country are exhibited today, because like all the good people come out and there's a sense of togetherness, and it's just a great event. I was here 20 years ago. It's just great to be here again.
It's the atmosphere.
It's the atmosphere, sense of community, all together, all for the country and for the Queen. It's great.
You sound a bit emotional.
I am a little bit.
A great day out for so many people. Nick Witchell, who we heard from earlier, is with me. Nick, an important moment for the monarchy, this.
It is. This is about, after all, our head of state, a record-breaking head of state who has been receiving the warmest of tributes today from, among others, President Biden, President Macron, who has talked about our profound admiration, our deep friendship. You don't get many messages from President Macron just like that at the moment. But, of course, in amongst all of this, there are subtle messages about the transition. One by one, the Queen is handing over these major public events to Prince Charles. We saw the Cenotaph a few years ago, the state opening of Parliament a few weeks ago, and now trooping the colour. Now, make no mistake, she is still handling the administrative side of being head of state, the red boxes and so on, but increasingly the message, both visual and written, is about the future, even as we celebrate the past. Her written message last night talked about her confidence in the future, and I think we can assume that that is a reference to her confidence in the future of the monarchy, as it will be in the hands of Prince Charles and then, of course, of Prince William. And I think they feel it is important to use the Jubilee to reinforce that message.
And a brief word, Nick, about the Duke of York, who won't be present at the main event tomorrow.
He will not, as expected, be at the service of Thanksgiving at St Paul's Cathedral because, according to Buckingham Palace, he has tested positive for COVID, so he won't be at St Paul's, and we're told by the Palace that he has not seen the Queen since he tested positive.
Nick, thank you very much. Nicholas Witchell there. Well, the Queen has recognised more than 1,000 people in her birthday honours list. Numerous previously unsung men and women working for charities and their communities have been recognised, along with household names from the worlds of entertainment and sport, as Lizo Mazimba reports.
In the world of entertainment,
Rebus made 3 circuits driving slowly.
Ian Rankin, author of the multi-million-selling Rebus novels, says he's honoured to be knighted for services to literature and charity. Damien Lewis has been made a CBE for services to drama and charity. Together with his late wife Helen McCrory, who died of cancer just over a year ago, he helped raise over £1 million to provide food for NHS workers during COVID. In a statement, he said, "She and I are both thrilled." Fashion designer Stella McCartney is too made a CBE. While actress Pauline Quirk, Coronation Street star Helen Worth and singer Bonnie Tyler all become MBEs. In the world of politics, Arlene Foster rose to the top, becoming Northern Ireland's first female First Minister. She's been made a Dame for political and public service.
Obviously I was thrilled. I've been a representative here for 18 years and then as the first female First Minister in Northern Ireland as well. So it's really Northern Ireland's award as well.
In the world of sport, broadcaster Claire Balding becomes a CBE.
I'm amazed and just completely overwhelmed by it, to be honest. But I do think it's a reflection of how much people love sport. And I hope it's also a reflection of the growth of women's sport and the added reward and recognition there is for women's sport and women in sports broadcasting.
Cricket star Moeen Ali says he's proud and happy to be made an OBE.
It's curling gold!
The Olympic gold medal winning curling team are also recognised. Captain Eve Muirhead is made an OBE, the rest of the team MBEs. Most honours, though, go to people not in the public eye. People like Patricia Husselby, recognised for 65 years of volunteering for the Poppy Appeal.
It makes you feel special. It makes you feel, all our hard work has been, it brought you a reward. As I say, I'm just delighted about it. Delighted, absolutely delighted.
She's just one of many honoured for their work in the community. Lizo Mazimba, BBC News.
Let's take a look now at some of today's other news. Ukraine's President Zelensky says Russian forces are now in control of 20% of Ukrainian territory. Russia's army is trying to break Ukraine's defences in the eastern region of the Donbass. Meanwhile, the US Treasury has announced a round of new sanctions against Russian individuals. Tomorrow will mark 100 days since the conflict began. The actor Amber Heard is planning an appeal after losing a defamation trial against her former husband Johnny Depp over allegations of domestic abuse. Yesterday, jurors in a Virginia court ruled in favour of Depp's claim of defamation on 3 counts, awarding him $10 million. He's currently in Gateshead, where he's expected to make an appearance at a concert alongside his friend Jeff Beck. The BBC has been told that the Transport Secretary has rejected a request by the aviation industry to allow them to recruit workers from overseas. Companies asked for special immigration visas for overseas workers at a government meeting yesterday. Thousands of holidaymakers have seen their travel plans disrupted this week after flight cancellations and delays at airports. The industry says that understaffing is to blame. The government declined to comment. England's cricketers got off to a strong start on day 1 of the first test against New Zealand at Lord's, but soon faced challenges of their own. Visitors won the toss and chose to bat first, but were bowled out for just 132. A short time ago, England were 100 for 6 in response. Our sports correspondent Joe Wilson reports.
At Lord's, Old Father Time has overseen countless fresh starts. Some brave new dawns barely make lunch. But here was James Anderson, 40 next month, bowling to defy age, to dismiss Young. Yeah, will Young out? Look at the left hand of Johnny Bairstow to clutch that catch. England's fielding was excellent, and so was Anderson. But you've seen him take wickets before, about 640 times. This is new. This is Matthew Potts. He made an instant impact on his debut, largely on the stumps. 4 wickets for him in total. All seem perfect, of course nothing ever is. Jack Leach making a brave dive in the field. He was able to walk away but suffered symptoms of concussion and will play no further part in this match. While New Zealand's first innings ended like this, 132 all out, about as good as the new captain and the new coach would have dared to expect. But remember the context, months of disappointments for England, unprecedented upheaval, changes in every key role. So now, could they bat? An emphatic yes here from Zach Crawley, who made 43. But he fell, and so, like this, did Ollie Pope for 7. Remember New Zealand are World Test champions. Remember Joe Root, still England's best batter? Gone for 11. It's day 1. Still lots of time for things to go wrong. Joe Wilson, BBC News, Lords.
Later this evening, more than 3,000 beacons will be lit across the UK and the Commonwealth to end the first day of the Jubilee celebrations. The Queen will be at Windsor Castle to take part in the ceremony. Our correspondent Elaine Dunkley has been watching preparations.
It will be a majestic sight in honour of Her Majesty. Along Hadrian's Wall, this ancient border will be illuminated with beacons. For many here, the Queen has been a rock during her 70-year reign.
This wonderful beacon lighting tonight and the fireworks, you know, it's just wonderful. I don't think another generation will ever see a monarch that's been around for 70 years, for a long, long time.
I'll sing the verses, you all do the choruses.
At the local village school in Brampton, children have been practising the Jubilee song
Fold it over.
and making lanterns for tonight's special event.
She's the oldest queen that has ever lived. She's been crowned for the longest time as well. And have you noticed that the Queen always carries her bag around?
What do you think's in the bag?
She's got lipstick in it.
Further along the wall at Caulfield Quarry, a command by Hadrian. By day, Dave works in IT, but tonight all eyes will be on his flaming arrow as he lights the beacon.
It's very exciting to be involved in an event like this. It's going to be a tricky shot. Having a lake in the middle is going to be a bit of a challenge. And it'll be dark, so we'll give it our best shot.
In the provinces, the celebrations were held everywhere.
Lighting beacons is a tradition which stretches back centuries. This is one of many built to mark the Queen's grandfather, George V's Silver Jubilee in 1935. Beacons have already been lit across the Commonwealth. New Zealand was one of the first, followed by Australia and Fiji. In Wales, a beacon in the Brecons. And a flame will be lit at Edinburgh Castle in Scotland. The Queen will lead the lighting of the principal Jubilee beacon at Windsor. The flames represent hope, a guiding light, and tonight, in honour of the Queen, the beacons will be a symbol of communities and people coming together. Elaine Dunkley, BBC News.
That's it for now. We are back with the late news at 10 o'clock. Now on BBC One, it's time for the news where you are. But before we go, let's look back at some of the memorable images from the first day of the Queen's Jubilee celebrations.